Well, let's take you out to Minneapolis right now. There is Tracy Claeys getting set to address the media.
I'm ready.
Coach, obviously an emotional time here. What was your reaction when you found out about Coach stepping down and how he kind of relayed things to the players?
Well, it's just kind of like getting kicked in the gut, because I did not know about it, anything about it, until last night, a little bit of heads up, but, for how long I've been with him. And so that's the hardest part. But like I told the players, it's what's best for him. None of us are to blame for the situation. And we still have a lot of control over how the season goes. And I still think we have a lot of good kids, great kids, who can play the game of football. And it's a tough day for them. But I think they got through it well. And each day it'll get a little bit better. But we definitely missed the guy. That's for sure.
How was practice today? What was it? Was it different? Was it the same?
No, it was pretty good, really. Like, I was surprised. They moved around pretty good. And it's one of those things, everybody in football, you try to when you go out on the practice field, it's kind of your own little space that nobody else is allowed, and you try to take care of football, and that's what we preach all the time to kids. But obviously today was tough. But I thought they did a hell of a job. I really did.
There's the two things. How will you adjust any defensive responsibilities on staff, and then two is how do you handle recruits right now in terms of getting with them and making sure they know the situation?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. We've already been in touch with the recruits, and I'll get home tonight and start calling them. I want to be next head football coach here. That's all there is to it. Okay, I believe I can do it, and our staff can do it, and so I want to be considered. I've been told I'll be considered. And so that's what we're telling the recruits. Everything we do, we're going to have the same principles, I tell them, different personality, okay? But the same principles we build on everything, and we're going to give it our best shot and see what happens. But until I'm told differently, we're going to approach it as if we'll continue to run the Gopher football program, and that's how we are with recruits. And obviously, is it a challenge? Sure, it's a challenge, but hey, life's a challenge. Every day is, and get up in the morning, it's a new day, and we'll go attack it. As far as the staff goes, guys, I'll have Paul do something tomorrow. I've visited with the guys on defense of kind of what I would like to do, and what the adjustments we've made. We're allowed to have another coach now to move the staff around and have another on-the-field coach to replace Coach Kill. But like I told them, I want them to go home tonight and think about what I talked to them about, and make sure everybody's comfortable with what's going on. Okay, and so once we decide that, it'll be decided first thing in the morning. Once we get that decided, and I get a chance to talk with Dan and Beth and everybody, then we'll put out something with that. But there'll probably be a little adjustment in the staff. Nothing major.
Tracy, after Jerry went through his issues a couple of years ago and you were the interim coach, in the back of your mind, do you have to prepare yourself to think that maybe a day like this might happen?
After he came back and he'd been doing so well for so long, I can tell you that at the first of last year, there was a little bit of a concern. But after we got through since the first couple of non-conference games, the best I can remember, I haven't worried about it. He's just been in. Things been going great, and hey, here it is, and I'll tell you, so but I feel like I've been trained well, and from the last situation, and I've been fortunate because coaches always let me be involved in things, and when things have happened, and 21 years, and we think, like I say, we got different personality, but we think an awful lot alike, and both of us would tell each other if we thought one was wrong or had a difference of opinion, and so there's a lot of respect there. And so I've been involved in a lot of those things, and so I feel like I'm very well prepared. I really do. And obviously that last situation helped us, and that one went good. So, we'll see how this one goes. Every day is different.
Just along those lines, Jerry said this morning you kept a file what to do in case I'm not around. Or was that something he just kept to himself, or He said it's full of papers.
No, it is. Every year is that the stuff, he's got a folder, and he says one, but it actually is three by the time it gets to the end of the year, and where he's kept stuff. And so to allow you, it's a good thing to reference. And same thing if somebody takes a job. He's always been open with those things and let people have copies of it to help them out. So, and believe me, I give him some time. He needs some time because he's not somebody, like personality-wise, he's not somebody, I'm just telling you that this is going to bother him for a little while, and he's just not somebody who can let it go. And so I won't bother him for a while. I mean, he knows, Rebecca knows, he can feel free to reach out to me if they need something or he has something that can help me. He knows that he can do that, but here for a little while, I'll let them get comfortable with as much as they can, or he can, with his new situation.
Tracy, how is your personality different from Coach Kill, and how much of an adjustment will it be to the kids style-wise?
Here's the difference in personality is this. You all can write something, or somebody can say something bad about me. I learned a long time ago, I put my head to pillow at night, I'm going to bed, okay? I don't have any control over it, I'm moving on, okay? In fact, I don't read anything locally. Once we start the season, I don't read or watch anything locally on the news, okay? I won't mention the newspaper I do read, so we'll get in trouble with promoting something I shouldn't, Paul. But that's just how I get through football season. You know what I'm saying? So when I go home at night, Coach is somebody who he can't let things just roll and go away. That's just the way he's wired. And that's why when something starts to bother him, he has trouble sleeping and bingo. And that's what's so. And the fact of once you get when things start to go haywire, he loves the coach, and if he can't give it his all. He's not going to do that. He's not going to cheat the kids. He's not going to cheat anybody else. So that's one way. He just wears his emotions a little bit more on his sleeves than what I do. And believe me, not that I don't listen to ideas and stuff like that, but I've learned probably 5 years ago. I don't know. We were at Northern Illinois, and I did tell you. I got told one time we left the press box. We beat. I want to say North Dakota, 1AA school. And we beat them late. I was leaving the press box, and there were about 3 fans on me on the way back to the locker room. Is that I hope you don't cash your check this week. You know what I'm saying? And it really bothered me. I mean, it really did. Hey, we won. I know it wasn't pretty, but we won. And when you go, hey, you don't know how damn hard we work, and regardless how the game come out. And so it bothered me for a few days, and I called a good friend of mine who I know, and it still comes back to is that I do think I have a good handle on controlling things you can control, and don't try to change those things. But I also have the personality. I love to compete. Is if I think I can get it changed, I'm going to do everything I can to get it changed if I think I can.
What did you say to the team after practice today?
I just said, hey, I thought I was damn proud of them. I can tell you that is that to go to class, all the class checkers checked back, and the kids were in class, and that's not an easy day. I'm just telling you to go through what they did, and they made it there, and they were on time for the 2:40 meeting. We had a great talk at 2:40. This morning it was hard because they had class, and plus this morning was Coach Kill's time. That was about Coach Kill, and so. Let Coach have his time, and then they got to class, and I say practice. I asked in the meetings. The guy says the kids paid well attention to the meetings, and then I thought practice we ran around pretty good, and we still got a day or two to clean some things up, and we got a few adjustments to make. But overall, I thought the kids did really good, really good.
As we move forward through the season, how much will you be continuing on the same path that Jerry had set for the team, and how much will we be seeing you putting your own personal stamp on the program?
The path won't change. Like I say, personality-wise, there may be some different reactions to different situations, but the path is not going to change, and there won't be a lot of change. That's why I've been with him 21 years. I believe in what we're doing. I believe in the way that he treats kids. I believe in what he expects of kids, and And so that part of it will not change. And expectations, we expect to win. And there's nobody more disappointed to lose than what we are. This is a whole different place than when we took over when we first got here, and we understand that.
Chris, when we watch practice, like spring ball or whatever, you're often kind of standing in the background, observing. I mean, everybody knows all the work you're putting in and stuff. It's just, will you change that practice demeanor at all, just in the sense that does the head coach need to be more mobile and all that? Or?
I can't be very mobile anyway. I'm kind of limited a little bit. But, I may get up there a little bit closer, to the huddle and things like that and be more around. I will walk around more to the different groups during individual and things like that, because the kids on offense got to get to know me, more. There's no question. I mean, being on the defensive side of the ball, there's always a little bit of a separation there, but we're all one team and, love them all. There ain't anything we wouldn't do for any of them. So, yeah, I'll probably get a little bit closer. The reason I'm back there is being the coordinator. It's easier for me to see if everything fits. And so if we adjust a few things on the staff, that'll allow me to. But here's the thing. The worst thing you can do is make a bunch of adjustments, and now nobody's comfortable, and it's going to cause a problem. So I'm telling you, the adjustments will be very minimal, very minimal.
You still continue to be in the box to go to the field like before?
Oh, yeah, I'll go back down the field and hope it's not real cold. You know what I'm saying? I used to joke that I may be the first coach that, the good thing is you have long TV timeouts, but they may see me walking off the field in between TV timeouts if it's too cold, wondering where I'm going. And so, I'll go back down the field, yeah.
Can you tell us when you found out and how you found out about your parents?
I didn't find out until this is the truth is that I found out yesterday when Coach showed up at 3:30. We stretched at about 4:30, and he came back and we had a good conversation about 30 minutes about what was going on. So before that, that's really the first that I knew of it. I knew he was having trouble sleeping and some things like that, but that's the first time, and so. Of how far along they were in the process, and that's a family decision that needs to be made. He don't need a coach. He don't need anybody else in his ear about that. That decision has to be made what's best for him and Rebecca and the two girls. And so he don't owe us apology or anything. We're all better off where we are now than when we first met him. At the same time, none of us would be here if it wasn't for him.
You talked about wanting to be the next head coach for the University of Minnesota.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, keeping the staff together, keeping the way things were, that's most important for this team, you think, to make the next step to move forward?
I think to get through this season, just like anything, everything's got to be evaluated because we are different personalities, and that's where, it's no good for me. I'll start setting in on more offensive meetings. That's not to change what we're doing on offense and tell those guys what to do. But I need to have an understanding on game day of what's going on and things like that. So that's why we got to make a little bit of adjustments. And then at the end of the year, with what I get an opportunity to do, which I'd love to have, being a head coach and being on defense, I pretty much know on defense what I'd like to do, and that's the side of the ball that we would look at on the philosophy of that and find something that fits my personality again and what I think can be successful at the University of Minnesota. But, right now I don't have time to think about that. I'll tell you, just like I told the guys on offense, is the fact that they need to find a way to get our best people the football in space and give them an opportunity to make the plays. Whatever that is, that's what we need to do and take care of the football. Offense is pretty simple, really. But I shouldn't say that. It's a simple idea, but it's extremely hard to execute. And so those guys will work their tail end off. They did the last time. That's exactly what I told them the last time.
I remember reading somewhere that you don't go home and watch Big Ten games on Saturday nights
right.
after you guys are done.
Right.
Will that have to change, or are there other things about your life or your lifestyle or the way that you operate that might have to change?
Well, Here it'll change here for a little bit because of the recruiting. You know, I'm going to make sure that not that I don't recruit the defensive kids and kids in my recruiting area, but I will make sure I get a hold of all the recruits and stay in contact with all the recruits, because the unknown, even for us, the unknown is always the scariest in any situation. So that's the part that'll change. Besides that, we work hard, and the lifestyle is the lifestyle. I mean, it really is. You have more responsibilities as a head coach. But listen, the assistant coaches and the graduate assistants, all that, they have to live the same lifestyle that the head coach does. It's a lot of work, but dang it, what other job you get to spend around kids every day? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's not a better job.
Tracy, I mean, the timing, it seems, you know, if you're just a fan of this team, you look at it, Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, and you talked yesterday about one fight.
My elephant, yeah.
But, I mean, just in terms of your confidence that this team doesn't let this devastating news affect them on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to a day. Yeah, like I say, I mean, hell, we're all human, and they are too. You know, the thing is that each day they get a little bit better towards it, and it'll still be, you know, and they need to learn to play for themselves and for the University of Minnesota. But there'll be all of us that still the motivation is going to be for Coach the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying, and what he stands for, and we don't want to disappoint him. So I have great confidence that our kids come game day. But today was a tough day. You know, I think that I think Coach Valvano said that a full day is you laugh, you have time to think, have the time of thought, and you get moved to tears. Well, I think I've done like 3 or 4 times. I've had a hell of a full day, and I'm sure those kids have too. And so, but each day it'll get a little better. And like I say, we know we represent the University of Minnesota. We know that football is important to the people in the state, and it's our obligation to be ready to go on Saturday. And that's one thing this game teaches you. It's for tough people. I believe that. And tough people get through tough times, and so our kids will be just fine.
Looking at the additional duties that you'll have to take on as head coach, is there anything that you think will be particularly challenging for you?
Answering the same question over and over again. Besides that, I did last time. You know what I'm saying? The media part, it really is. But now listen, the media is a necessary part of football now too, because it does generate a tremendous amount of money for our sport. I understand that, but but I haven't done it last time. I did it last time. That'll be the, you know, you won't be able to set in all the meetings, and you know that's one thing that you know, even head coach, you like being head coach. That's the one thing that bothered him, is when you got to leave a meeting to go do something and things like that. And again, that's out of my control. It's things I have to do, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, and I'll get it done.
We'll take 2 more for Coach Claeys. You mentioned coaching personalities.
Yeah.
Times already. You seem like a laid-back guy. And here, how would you describe your coaching personality?
I'm competitive now. I don't like to lose, you know, and I think that most people who are successful deep down are competitive, you know, and so when it comes time to compete, I'll compete with anybody. I may not win, but I'll give her hell, you know, and so and the kids know that, you know, from last year, and so that's, and I think most coaches are that way, you know. Some are just all the time, you know what I'm saying, and I'm a lot more analytical, and I enjoy, not only enjoy getting to know the kids and the families, I enjoy the X and O part. I mean, I truly do. You know, I'm a math person, the logic, and they do this, you do that, da-da-da. All of that stuff is very intriguing and very interesting to me. And but then when it gets to game day, I tell the kids, there's no better feeling as a coach to go in the locker room and see everybody smiling and celebrating. It's unbelievable when that happens, when you take a group of kids from all over the place and put them together and you get that done. It's not easy. But at the same time, there's not a worse feeling than going in the locker room and seeing a bunch of kids who just lost, and the look on their faces, because you know the work they put in. I tell you, that's a piece of you dies. I mean, every time you lose a game, just a piece of you dies.